And so, ladies and gentlemen who are outside at the showcase, we'd like to invite you into the event hall right now as we'll be starting soon. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please join us in the room. Thank you. Once again, we'd like to invite our friends outside to come into the room as we'll be commencing the PIER71 Smart Port Challenge Grand Final soon. Thank you very much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, just some housekeeping announcements before we begin. So, welcome to the PIER71 Smart Port Challenge Grand Final. As we're starting soon, we'd like to invite you to your seats. And of course, please help us to keep your mobile phones to the silent mode. We really appreciate your cooperation. So, thank you very much. I'll give you more announcements in a while. Thank you. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, as our guest of honor is arriving soon, we'd like to invite you to your seats. Thank you very much. Thank you. And please help us to switch your mobile devices to the silent mode. We will really appreciate your cooperation. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, Dr. Amy Kaur, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment and the Ministry of Transport. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Joining us. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, partners and entrepreneurs both present here at Suntec Singapore, and hello to those joining us online as well. Hi. Welcome to the grand finals of the PIER71 Smart Port Challenge 2024. My name is Melvin. It's such a pleasure to be your MC this wonderful afternoon. And for those who are new to us here, PIER71 stands for Port Innovation Ecosystem Reimagined at Block 71, a program co-founded by the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore and National University of Singapore via its entrepreneurial arm NUS Enterprise to boost innovation in the maritime and related industries. PIER71 aims to attract talents, create opportunities, attract investments into startups, and accelerate ventures as well. And now perhaps you've been wondering, what does the Great Circle mean? Well, allow me to explain. The name Great Circle is inspired by the concept of the shortest sailing path between 2 points, accounting for the curvature of the Earth as well. This mirrors PIER71's program ethos, which is navigating challenges to transform concepts into viable products in the fastest possible way. And at the heart of this innovative spirit is the Smart Port Challenge. This annual innovation challenge finds the best ideas and solutions from tech startups around the world to address challenges or innovation opportunities put forth by the maritime companies in Singapore. And this year commemorates the 8th edition of Smart Port Challenge, and to date we have supported more than 140 startups from all around the world, from countries such as Sweden, Brazil, Canada, as well as Malta. Today our grand finalists will be vying for the top 3 positions for this year's challenge. In addition to the top 3 winner prizes, all companies presenting today will stand a chance to win one of the 3 corporate sponsor prizes. More on that later on. And we'd like to thank our following companies for their generous prize sponsorship, namely Amazon Web Services, OCBC Bank, as well as PSA Singapore. And now to commence this event, ladies and gentlemen, can we please invite on stage our guest of honor, Dr. Amy Khor, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment, and the Ministry of Transport. Let's welcome her, please. Welcome, Dr. Khor. Thank you for joining us today.
First, I must say that mine is not the interesting part, right? The more exciting and interesting part is all the speeches that we're going to listen to, and I'm as excited as all of you to listen to the speeches and to find out from the judges later on, right, who the winners are. But anyway, all of you, those who are semi-finalists, finalists, I think you are winners already. Yeah. So congratulations for being here. Good afternoon to all of you. Let me thank you for inviting me to the PIER71 Smart Port Challenge Grand Final today. This year marks the 8th edition of the Smart Port Challenge, which began with the launch of the challenge statements in May this year. I'm glad to be joined today by representatives from the startup and research communities, maritime industry, as well as venture capitalists, the VCs. First, I would like to congratulate our 8 grand finalists today, many of whom are already in talks with maritime companies for further proof of concepts or pilot projects. Since 2018, PIER71 has been instrumental in the growth of the marine tech scene in Singapore. PIER71 has nurtured over 140 local and international marine tech startups in collaboration with more than 60 maritime corporate partners and 11 VCs. We are also making good progress towards our target of supporting 150 marine tech startups by 2025. This year, the Smart Port Challenge featured 14 challenge statements in the areas of maritime green technologies, next generation ports, smart shipping and digitalization. Close to 200 proposals were submitted for the Smart Port Challenge, the largest number of submissions since inception. So give yourself another big round of applause. Let me thank many of you who must have actually contributed to the 200 proposals. From this pool, 28 startups were shortlisted for our PIER71 Accelerate program. Innovation and technology are critical to addressing the challenges faced by the maritime industry. Ongoing geopolitical uncertainties have reinforced the need for our ports and supply chains to be adaptable, resilient, and efficient. As the international shipping community outlines midterm measures for the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions from ships, we need new technology for vessels to run more efficiently and on new types of fuels, and to enable our seafarers and maritime workers to adapt to the green transition. PIER71 remains a critical pillar of our marine tech scene today, as a collaborative platform for maritime companies to grow their innovation capabilities and for startups to assess the maritime sector. PIER71 has enabled the commercialization and deployment of at least 27 innovative solutions in the maritime industry to date. For example, Magic Port, our 2021 PIER71 alumni, is building a digital marketplace and collaboration platform to provide operational visibility and coordination between suppliers and services at our port. They are also working with the Coastal Sustainability Alliance to develop and implement a vessel scheduling and fleet deployment algorithm, which will ensure more efficient deployment of electric harbour craft. Another alumni, Avitix Global from our 2022 cohort, supported Singapore's methanol bunkering trials this year. Avitix drones are equipped with a volatile organic compound detector and infrared camera to detect leaks, allowing MPA staff in the Emergency Operations Center to supervise trials remotely. The technology has brought us closer to preparing for a safe multi-fuel bunkering future. Our startups have also provided solutions to pressing real-world problems. One such startup is mVision, which has deployed its deep learning machine vision solutions at Tuas Port to support the safety of crane operations by helping to identify obstacles and hazards in the surroundings. When the city terminals were reopened to ease port congestion earlier this year, so in fact, just this morning, I was looking out from the conference room in my office. I have to say that, otherwise you think my office is overlooking a beautiful, fantastic, view. Actually, it is, but this one is the one next door, which is even better. We were actually looking at the city terminal port, and I just realized too that it was actually reopened again earlier this year to ease port congestion. Well, when that was being done, when the city terminal was being opened because of congestion, mVision's solution was actually quickly deployed there to ensure operational safety, supporting the resilience of our port. So really, real practical, useful solutions from PIER71 challenge, right? That's been implemented right here at our port. Our PIER71 startups have also been able to secure venture capital to accelerate their growth. To date, PIER71 startups have raised over $80 million in investments globally. I would like to congratulate Podcast, our Smart Port Challenge and Scale Up Program alumni from 2018, which has successfully completed its Series A funding round, raising over $8 million. So congratulations. Let's give them a big round of applause. Good job. Headquartered in Singapore, Podcast Supply Chain Visibility and Demand Forecasting Solution now has a data network of over 5,000 vessels and over 12,000 ports globally. With presence in over 15 countries, they are continuing to expand their global presence in Japan this year, recently establishing their presence at NUS Enterprise Block 71, Nagoya. This morning, we held a closed-door investor circle for our 2024 finalists to pitch their solutions to VCs. I look forward to more of our startups securing the necessary capital to kickstart and expand their enterprises. The success of our startups would not be possible without the strong support of our maritime corporate partners who sponsored 14 Innovation Challenge statements. Our startup cohorts are also mentored by industry veterans who guided in understanding industry needs better and help open doors into maritime Singapore. I would like to extend my appreciation to our 3 corporate prize sponsors. Earlier, you saw it on the screen: Amazon Web Services, OCBC Bank, and PSA. This is the first or the inaugural year for industry-sponsored prizes. I hope more will come. The prizes will be awarded to selected promising startups in the areas of artificial intelligence, maritime sustainability, and smart port. We hope more companies will come on board with PIER71 to provide strong support to the startups and entrepreneurs. On the international front, PIER71 has also strengthened its partnership with startup ecosystems around the world. For the first time this year, the Smart Port Challenge was launched in Singapore and at 8 international roadshows. More than 70% of our proposals received were from companies outside of Singapore. Singapore, as a global hub port and international maritime center, has the potential to serve as a leading and a landing pad for global startups in the maritime sphere to expand in Asia and beyond. Just in September this year, I was pleased to witness the signing of the PIER71 DigiHub MOU between PIER71 and NUS Enterprise and Hamburg Digital Hub Logistics, focusing on startup exchanges such as mutual promotion of business opportunities within Singapore and Hamburg for startups. Through our green and digital shipping corridor partners and MPA overseas offices, our ecosystem will build strong innovation networks with international maritime centers across Europe, US, China, Japan, Australia, and more. We look forward to building more partnerships, synergies, and solutions internationally to provide even more opportunities for our startups. On that note, I would like to once again congratulate our Smart Port Challenge grand finalists, the 8 grand finalists. And as I've said earlier, I look forward to your pitches, which is going to start very soon. So thank you very much and have a most meaningful afternoon.
Thank you very much, SMS Call. Thank you for your speech. Thank you. We invite you to your seat for the next segment. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our eyes over to the screen as we present a video recapping all the memorable moments from this year's Smart Port Challenge Accelerate program. Let us watch the video, please. you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for your applause as well. Thank you. So many things coming together to bring us to this particular day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that from PIER71 organizers that this is the biggest event that they've ever organized with over 700 registrations. And so, to commemorate this particular day, we will be taking a group photo with everyone over it. Can we have our photographer on stage right now? So we have a photographer that will be right over here. So but before that, yes, let's invite our chief judges as well as our judges to join us in the center, please. So at the count of 3, we will be asking you to wave at the camera, okay? And which camera though? We've got so many cameras. This one first, huh? Okay, so we'll be waving at this particular camera, okay? So everyone, let's get ready with both your hands, two hands in the air. 1, 2, 3. Let's wave at the camera. Thank you very much. Woohoo! All right. Well, silent waving. No sound. Thank you very much. And do we have a photo as well? Do we have a photo? Yes, sir. Good, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, let's give yourselves a big hand. Thank you so much for being part of our largest event with PIER71. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. So let's continue, shall we? So this year's Smart Port Challenge comprises a total of 14 innovation opportunities that were championed and supported by 14 maritime corporates and organizations. This participation builds on the groundwork laid earlier this year at the Maritime Innovation Leadership Roundtable and Maritime Innovation Workshop, where the community identified key innovation priorities in green technologies, next generation ports, smart shipping, as well as digitalization. So 28 startups were selected from 200 applications from 35 countries, and 20 of the startups progressed on to phase 2 of the 12-week Accelerate program, and you will be meeting them very, very soon. And the 20 startups then pitched it out at the semifinals last week, and that brings us to today. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand for the top 8 grand finalists that will be shown on screen. Let's give them a big hand, please. Wow. So all these names you'll see in a very, very short while. All 8 of them. Congratulations. And so, what's going to happen today? We'll first hear from these 8 of our friends, the top 8 grand finalists. They'll be pitching, and then they'll be undergoing the judges' evaluation and Q&A by our 3 judges right over there. And thereafter, we also have the privilege of hearing from our 11 semi-finalists, who, although did not make it to the grand finals, also have demonstrated exceptional potential and innovation as well. So we'll hear from our semi-finalists as well. So right now, we'll be proceeding to the much-anticipated grand final pitches, and this is the exact process. 8 startups will come on stage one by one. They will be armed with a 4-minute pitch each, okay? And after their pitch, our panel of judges right over there will be engaging them in a 4-minute Q&A. The timer bell will ring once at the 4-minute mark. Thank you. Thereafter, the bell will ring continuously if the allocated time has been exceeded by more than 30 seconds. Thank you very much. So the pitches by our startups today are quite different from the usual conventional investor pitches that you may be familiar with. Instead of focusing on securing funding, these are go-to-market pitches and will be aimed at engaging with you, our audience. So today, our startups won't just be showcasing their innovative solutions, they'll also be highlighting opportunities for collaboration and explain how you can partner with them to drive impact within your maritime operations as well. So before we start the grand final pitches, let's introduce our esteemed judges. They are experts in their fields and they bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to today's event. And we're very thankful that you're here today. So first and foremost, can we please have our have a wave from our Chief Judge, Mr. Teo Eng Dee, Chief Executive, Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us. And next we have Mr. Cyril Ducal, Chief Executive Officer, Eastern Pacific Shipping. Thank you for joining us. And last but not least, Associate Professor Chai Kah Hin, Associate Provost, Masters, Program and Lifelong Education, who is also Vice Dean, Office of Graduate Programs, College of Design and Engineering, National University of Singapore, NUS. Thank you so much to our 3 judges for gracing this event. So without further ado, I hope all of us are ready to be inspired. Please keep your ears open and minds engaged as our grand finalists will be giving you a glimpse into the potential for transformative change in the maritime industry. So right now we have our first of our grand final pitches. Let us please welcome, with a warm round of applause, Clear Robotics from Singapore and Hong Kong SAR. Let's welcome them. Thank you for your applause, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be the first presenter today. So my name is Sid. I run a company called Clear Robotics, and we are building an unmanned electric boat revolution out of Singapore. Now, the marine industry is full of dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs. And if you're a marine operator today, your fleet probably looks like this, and you're struggling with finding people to do these dull, dirty, dangerous jobs. In fact, there's a huge workforce shortage more and more in the industry because young people don't want to do this kind of work, especially manual work anymore, right? Secondly, if you have a fleet like this, you're also struggling with emissions. Your current fleet produces a lot of them, and the government's told you that you have 5 to 10 years to figure it out, right? So you're under a lot of pressure. And we believe that the fleets of the future don't look like this, but the fleets of the future look like this. Imagine a future where you could press a button, your fleet of boats goes out, they do all the dull, dirty, dangerous jobs, and no emissions. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, that is the future that we're building at Clear Robotics. Our boats and ships cost fuel costs for operators by 90%. There's no magic here, we're an electric boat. We cut emissions by 95% because we can actually charge with solar. And as you can see from the video, our boat can auto-dock and charge. And that means you can sit anywhere in the world, press a button, and the boats go out and do the jobs. So instead of having 2 or 3 operators on site or on the vessels, you have 1 person remotely, right? Overall, all this means is there's a huge efficiency increase, and we solve the people, pollution, and petrol problem faced by the industry today. In terms of what our boats can do, so the bread and butter of our business today, the first vertical is pollution management. We clean out garbage from some of the dirtiest waterways in the world. That video is actually from India, and you can see the difference we're making as the boat goes along. We also do oil cleaning and algae cleaning. And we are also actually helping a number of ports manage pollution at their ports, right? I'm very happy to say that we've seen a ton of traction in the last 3 months in Singapore and Southeast Asia. We have LOIs from Tiansan Shipping, Oil Spill Asia, and even Gardens by the Bay for pollution management. And extended out of Singapore, we've actually got our first boat in Thailand and have LOIs in Malaysia as well. So we're very, very keen to expand out of here. The second big use case is hydrographic survey, and I'm very happy to say that our first demo will be actually to the MPA's own hydrography department. We're very excited to see how we can make a difference here. And our third use case we're exploring now is draft survey, so basically looking at draft marks on bulk carriers. And the good news is we've got pilots also set up in India with Adani ports. Overall, there's a huge opportunity here. And we are open to many different kinds of collaboration. Our vessel can pick up 1.5 tons of payload. So if you see a business opportunity for us, please find me later. I'm in the booth at the back, right? What we'll bring to any collaboration is great technology. We're experts in marine perception, marine piloting, remote docking and charging. We also understand the legal side of things. We worked a lot on legal innovation, working with class societies and insurance. We actually have insurance coverage for our boats and ships. And we do this as a service. That means we aren't going to sell your boat and run away. We're here to work with you to get the job done. And that's how we build our business with the partners we work with, right? Singapore is really important to us. So we used to be a Hong Kong company, as you heard from the intro. We actually moved our headquarters out of Singapore, and we're moving all our R&D here now. And that's because we see a huge future in South and Southeast Asia. We've gone from 0 to 1 and 1 to 10 in fleet size. Today, we're going from 10 to 100. And what we're trying to do is get 15 boats in each of those geographies, and we're on track to do that with our partners. Where we have a huge payload capacity, we're certified, insured, and self-docking. That gives us a huge competitive advantage in the space. And me and my co-founder, we actually hold a Guinness World Record for building the world's fastest robotic fish. We're deeply passionate about marine technology. We're deeply passionate about the oceans. We're excited that our business creates such a massive impact every year. And we want to be the largest unmanned boat and ship operator in the world in 10 years. We want to do that out of Singapore. And if you see that vision, think about making us a winner for the competition today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now on to our 4-minute Q&A session by our judges.
What sea state does your boat tend to navigate, and at what angle should you position the boat to the incoming waves?
That's a good question. So for sea state, a simple answer, at sea state 3, we actually limit our operations to within 1 kilometer of the dock. At sea state 4, you're back in the dock. You cannot operate beyond that. That's for a larger vessel, right? In terms of what direction, to be honest with you, I am not the operations guy at our company. We have an operations manager who's very good. He's an ex-marine guy, and he understands how to do this. And in unmanned mode, I know the boat handles it itself. So,
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I read in your other presentation that one of your advantages is the ability to operate in rough seas. Does that come at any cost for the RUV?
Well, I mean, from a maintenance standpoint, yes. So we actually do a lot of engineering to make sure that, depending on the use case, the vessel is ready to be able to do that. As I said, we actually don't go above sea state 4 today. But the idea is that if the weather does get bad, we don't have any humans on board. So if you have an emergency situation, you'll actually be able to always trace the vessel and get back and rescue it, and no one's really life is put at risk.
And another question. In the port where you've deployed, what's the arrangements for the offtake of the garbage that you collect?
Right, so actually the port has a designated waste manager, so they tender somebody else to manage the waste. So what we do is we'll take the waste out, we'll actually dump it onto a dock, so we have a dock there, and the waste manager takes it out from our dock once a week.
Assuming this is a cost-based competition segment, how do you intend to compete in that direction?
A very good question. So I think where we really win is OpEx, right? So our operational expense, because we are battery powered and solar charged, is very, very low. And the second is because of our, so we used to, as I said, we do these projects ourselves, right? And we very quickly realized another big cost is having somebody on the dock to physically moor and charge the machine. So with self-docking, which is one of the critical technologies we've worked on, and having the electric solar combination, we have by far the lowest OpEx of any other supplier.
How far can this vessel operate off the shores, and what frequency should you manage this?
Very good question. So the honest answer is right now, not very far, right? We can go about 4 kilometers offshore with our big vessel. But the intention is very much to scale up. So you'll see in our go-to-market plan, we actually want to create a 10-meter vessel and bigger ships. And we're looking for partnerships with shipyards, in fact, to help us scale up the size of the vessel. If we're able to scale up the size of the vessel, very simply put, we can go further offshore. The technology is really the same.
What's the latency of the comms set that you need for such communications to take place?
Good question. So we actually have 3 layers of redundancy because it always changes. So we have we have satellite, which is by far the slowest and lowest bandwidth. We have 4G, which if you're near shore, 4G or 5G works actually pretty well with less than half a second latency. And then the fastest is we have a telemetry radio and a telemetry video that's going up and down the vessel. So we actually use all 3 in combination because sometimes you have interference and something might shut down. So at the least, you have 2 systems that are always up and running.
Operators in Singapore may ask about the cost of the person to remove the rubbish when the robot comes back. How do you manage that whole life cycle of costs?
Look, fair enough. So what I'll say is 2 things. Number 1, the traditional operators are already hiring a lot of people to do that, right? So either way, there's a significant reduction in total manpower effort required. And the second thing is our vessel, well, our bigger vessel is able to actually dump the waste automatically onto land. So you can see the video at the bottom. We have these projects where we collect literally, half a ton of these plants, and the robot will automatically tip it over and dump it at the back. So you don't need someone to unload the boat. And usually the waste managers have their own system to handle waste after we've handed it over.
Our VCs here will be interested. What is your target cost of delivery for the system?
Well, I will not be super public with these numbers, but you can find me later. I'm also out of time. But very simply put, the more boats we produce, the cheaper per port it gets for us to produce. So we're looking at scaling up things. Thank you.
That's all the time we have. Let's give them a hand. Thank you for being the brave soul to start first. Thank you very much. And that was Clear Robotics from Singapore and Hong Kong SAR. Moving on quickly, we have Eco Marine Technologies from Canada. Let's welcome them, please. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lu Liu. I'm from EcoMarine. I'm the CEO of EcoMarine, and great honor to be here. Thanks for joining my pitch. And EcoMarine is a technology company making the all-type surface underwater cleaning ROVs. Let's see the problem of this industry, the biofouling. So the conclusion is no survivors from the biofouling, whatever the ships and underwater infrastructure. And because the biofouling happens immediately when the surface touches the water, in the early stage that they can reduce the efficiency just in 1 or 2 days. And if under optimal condition, you will see the barnacles, mussels touching the surface in 2 weeks. So it creates significant drags and also makes the cleaning very dangerous, difficult, and more expensive, for sure. And nowadays, the market is more focused on the ship owners and leaves all the real challenge to the divers and cleaning company to solve the biofouling. Actually, that's a very professional and dangerous working condition. And also, that's include but not limited for this low visibility, strong currents, and even the equipment failure. Fatigue is another problem for the divers. They are limited their capability, and also slowing down when doing the large vessels. The market right now is providing two types of the RVs. The first one is residential grooming RV, and it's focused on the ongoing maintenance. Another is the big size, heavy-duty cleaning RV. It's service-based. And these two types of system and provide the competition with the current service company in the market right now, and creating friction rather than collaboration. Our business model is different. We are created and designed for partnership-first business model, and allows work along with the diving companies by enhancing their capabilities rather than competing with them. And also, we allow them to improve their operational safety for the divers when they're providing their services. This partnership business model is also help us to rapidly gain the market penetration, also for mutual growth with our partners. So that's the reason why we did good market attractions and signed IOI with the Singapore and Canadian coating company, which allows us to have access for more than 100 ships. Another trial customers based in Canada is Halifax Transit Authority and Canadian Coast Guard. Someone may be wondering that how big the market is. So right now, the market is $5.1 billion for ships and add another $1.2 billion in infrastructure. These projects combined together for roughly around $9.4 billion by 2028. That equals 300,000 cleaning jobs every single year. Imagine that's what a massive serviceable market for Ecomarine's product. This is our team, and we are based at Halifax, Nova Scotia. Thank you. I'm waiting for answer the questions. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation and coming all the way from Canada.
Thank you.
Based on your understanding of Canadian waters and Singapore waters, what are the differences and what are the challenges for your product?
The growth speed with the biofoulings and the type of the biofoulings is different. So in Canada waters, it's like barnacles and zebra mussels more frequent in Canada water oceans, yes.
As you know, in most ports, it's all about pollution from the fouling that you remove. So what percentage of the fouling are you able to capture?
So right now, we are working with the universities to design the capture system. And we created the sections and from the front to shroud. At the same time, we clean and we collect together.
And can you say something about how you protect the paint coating on the ship?
So it's up to the cleaning system. So we are using the competition jet. So the bubbles doing the cleaning. And it's been proved by the coating company that our competition jet is not going to damage any of the paint.
So compared to your competitors, what technological edge do you have?
Excuse me?
Compared to your competitors.
Competitors, okay.
Yeah, what technological edge you have over your competitors?
So we are all type of the service RVs cleaning. So we are not limited to the metal ships. We can do the concrete, the aluminum, and also the fiberglass. That's one of the features of our RV. And the competition jet is another one because it's not going to damage any of the coat. Our RV size is 200 pounds. It's not that heavy duty. We can provide our RVs to our partners like the diving company, they can operate offshore or offshore.
Explain to us a bit about how you use cavitation and the air pressure bubbles to ensure that the robot stays on the ship while you are doing this, but at the same time have enough pressure to dislodge the biofouling.
So the distance is very important. The nozzles with the surface is we keep the certain distance. That's the maintain the pressure.
Are you able to sustain strong currents?
Yes, that's a good question.
What's the answer?
We are going to. That's a good question. We are going to use the current solutions for our all audience and customers.
Maybe I frame it the other way. There's a certain weight to your vessel,
Yeah.
your robot, and your robot clings onto the vessel. You can calculate the amount of energy that the wave dislodges on it, and how will you improve your ability to stay afloat with the incoming waves?
Thank you.
Are you thinking of different rates of robots at different sweep areas so that you can improve the productivity, knowing full well that vessels in Singapore only stay 1 to 2 days?
Yes. We are trying to develop a different size of the robots and trying to match the different circumstances. And Singapore is the second largest port in the world, so we won't miss the Singapore for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our judges as well. And now we move on to our third of the 8 group, and we have GT Wings from United Kingdom. Let's welcome them. GT Wings, please. Welcome.
Ship owners are currently under an immense amount of pressure to reduce carbon emissions and to reduce their carbon intensity. And this is driven both by current, but also upcoming IMO and EU regulations. Wind is a completely free, unlimited, and zero-emission energy source. But what's even better, for shipping, this energy is delivered directly at the point of use. That means no conversion of energy, no storage of energy, and zero emissions. Shipping is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this clean energy source. But despite this, there's a real lack of existing technologies which are both easily retrofittable and have minimum impact on the operation of the vessel. At GT Wings, we've developed a completely new type of wind propulsion system, which uses a patented airflow technology to generate extremely high amounts of thrust per unit area. That means that for a given amount of thrust and fuel savings, we can actually get away with installing much more smaller, much more compact, and therefore lightweight systems, which consequently have much less of an impact on the operation of the vessel. We generally expect between 10 to 30% fuel savings, and this translates to a payback period of between 3 to 4 years. Today, we've had lots of traction in the UK, and we're currently manufacturing our first 20-meter wind propulsion system at the moment. This will be installed on a UK vessel in January 2025. However, we're also starting to gain a lot of traction in Singapore. For example, we're currently undergoing a technical and economic feasibility study for Eastern Pacific shipping. We've also signed an LOI with Seaforest, where we hope to collaborate and partner and look at opportunities for integrating our air wing wind propulsion system with their Energy Cube peak shaving energy storage device. And finally, we're also completing feasibility studies for numerous global ship owners, lots of these located in the Singapore region. And our go-to market plan is really clear. In Q1 2025, we hope to have agreements in place with key sales agents in the region to really start building a market presence. In Q2, we hope to start manufacturing in either Batam or Malaysia with local quality assurance teams on the ground ensuring compliance. And in Q3, this is where we aim to achieve a makers list status of various retrofit shipyards within the Singapore region. So why should we work together? It's clear that the challenges ahead of us are immense. We need to reduce carbon emissions, reduce carbon intensity while maintaining profitability. But we can get there, and we can do that by working together. At GT Wings, we're committed to transparency, and we will be sharing data from our feasibility studies and pilot projects to build an industry-wide knowledge base for wind propulsion. This will help ship owners make informed and data-driven decisions when moving forward. Ultimately, we're building solutions with the industry and not just for it. We're now welcoming ship owners and partners who share this vision to join us, whether it's through feasibility studies, pilot projects, or joint ventures. Let's work together to shape the future of the shipping industry. Thank you.
Thanks for doing this in the UK. The tropics is not known to have good winds. How do you navigate vessels in the tropics?
Yeah, it's a good question. So a lot of routes, as you say, vary in wind predictability. For example, some routes, the North Atlantic is very well set up for wind propulsion. However, at the moment, with the current regulations, which will be in place from January 2025, it actually doesn't matter if the wings would even be used at the moment. It purely is a calculation, and therefore, if you are installing wind propulsion, you're actually benefiting and helping to comply with, for example, the Fuel EU regulation by installing the devices. However, we know that that won't be a lasting regulation, and we hope that the regulations do come in play to really drive efficiency of devices. And that's why we're developing an AI-driven control system, which will effectively trim the device in real time to give you the most performance for the given wind speeds and wind directions.
What type of flows are your wings being designed for? And how does it relate to the headwind, the F-wind, the beam wind, and the oblique winds?
Yeah, really good question. So air wing is designed to perform ultimately well in all different wind angles and wind speeds. You can get the most savings when the wind is from the beam, so when the wind's coming from the side of the vessel. This is where you can really ramp up the power of the device and produce really high amounts of thrust. However, what's really important in the shipping industry is actually having very good performance at low wind angles. So that's when the vessel's moving forward at quite a speed and your apparent wind angle actually shifts towards the front of the vessel. What we do very well with our unit is can control the airflow in a very unique way, which gives us very good performance at those lower wind angles.
Are your wings collapsible?
Yeah, so for the first installation, which you can see here, this is actually a 20-meter wing. So you can't really tell from this perspective, but it actually sits beneath the air draft, and therefore there's no reason to tilt this device. However, we are designing a tiltable mechanism for our larger 28 and 40-meter units, which will be used for larger bulk carriers and tankers, allowing them to install the larger units and stow them to the deck when needed.
Do you need any type of crew intervention or crew training to be able to optimize the angle of the wings or the thrust of the wings?
Yeah, no, not at all. So we've got various different parameters which we can change. So we can alter the angle of the wing, the angle of the flap at the back, and also the power of the fans within the device. However, this is all done via an automated control system. So it's continuously looking at the incoming wind speed and wind direction, and then adjusting different parameters of the wing to effectively give you the best performance. So no intervention required.
So why would ship owners invest in a technology that at best can only reduce 30% of the fuels? They would rather invest in something like a zero emission fuel. wholeheartedly, right?
Yeah, so it's a really good question, and I completely understand where you're coming from. However, we see wind as a completely free, unlimited, and zero-emission energy source, which is going to be around forever. And that's really the key here. And I think it's also a very responsible technology in the shipping industry, as shipping is one of the only few industries which can actually make use of wind propulsion directly at the point of use. So there's no conversion of energy, and that's reducing the burden on other sectors.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much to GT Wings. Thank you. And joining us next is Open Ocean Robotics from Canada. Let's give them a big hand, please.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. My name is Julie Angus. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Open Ocean Robotics, and we're revolutionizing ocean monitoring with uncrewed systems and AI. I've been passionate about the ocean for a long time. In fact, I love it so much that I spent 5 months rowing across the Atlantic from Portugal to Costa Rica. That journey showed me the beauty of the ocean, but it also showed me the challenges of being on it, and it led to the creation of Open Ocean Robotics, which is targeted at revolutionizing how we understand our oceans by enabling us to see them better, supporting maritime agencies and companies to obtain more affordable, sustainable, and accurate ocean data. So the global ocean monitoring challenge is significant, and it's also a huge opportunity. And we address that by providing more data at a more affordable price point and helping overcome some of the largest environmental and security challenges that face our industry. Our vehicle has been tested in some of the most challenging waters in the world. Here it is in the surf break off of Vancouver Island, where it can surf much better than I can. And we've tested and developed our technology in partnership with leading global organizations and agencies. With the US Navy, we demonstrated our ability for maritime domain awareness in the Persian Gulf. With offshore wind provider Vineyard Wind, we showcase how our real-time marine mammal monitoring can improve operational uptime. Our USV Data Explorer and our Portal Explorer View are commercially available products. We comply with all North American regulatory requirements. We are fully insured, and we are ready to scale to Southeast Asia. We have a strong presence in Canada. We have strong revenue. We have a team of 25. We have a granted patent and IP, and we've been very capital efficient, producing 11 vehicles so far that we've operated in 3 oceans around the world with over 4,000 operational hours. I'm very proud to say our last financing round was led by a Singapore investment fund and is helping us scale to the region. Since we've started PIER71 just 3 months ago, we've secured significant interest from the region, from value-added distributors, as well as industry and academic partners. We have a letter of intent from NCS. And just last week, I was presenting at NUS, and we're looking at collaborative research agreements there. Singapore has been important in our company formation, and now since we've participated in PIER71, we have a concrete plan how to expand to Singapore. That includes setting up a company here, hiring our first staff next year, doing pilot projects and research collaborations to generate IP specific for this region. So why do we want to do this? We want to bring globally leading USVs and AI solutions to the region, and we want Singapore to be our epicenter for that expansion. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that through commercial and academic partnerships to take this globally leading technology and customize it for the local market. And what do we want to do? We want to open substantial markets in Singapore, but also in the surrounding region, so that we can scale the use of this innovative technologies so that we can better understand our markets and our oceans. My name is Julie Angus. I'm the CEO of Open Ocean Robotics, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here sharing our technology, and I look forward to growing this industry in Singapore and beyond. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie and team, for bringing yet another very interesting technology to Singapore. What sorts of data would you think that with this device would be interesting for you, and what are some of the R&D areas?
Yeah, for data, so our core vessel collects 360-degree visual data, forward-facing thermal camera, weather data, underwater oceanographic data, including depth, and AIS. We can add a range of environmental sensors. So for example, we can do oil spill detection. We can detect other pollutants. We can detect noise. So there's a range of environmental sensors. The most common additional sensors we put on our vehicles is additional thermal cameras for enhanced situational awareness and acoustics.
How does this device survive in Singapore when fiberglass hits a vessel? Or a vessel hits fiberglass? I think the audience here knows what is the state. So how do you improve the survivability of such a device?
So it's a relatively light device. It weighs 100 kilograms. It's also a slow-moving device. We also have advanced situational awareness. So the idea is to avoid hitting a ship. But if there is an impact, our vessel is going to lose. So we're a relatively the risk associated with our vessel is low. We are also fully insured, and we have vessel detection on our vehicle that provides alerts to the human operator. And we do very much operate human in the loop right now.
What's the autonomy of the vessel if you don't have any sun?
So we're solar battery powered. We have a lithium ion battery payload that ranges from 3.5 kilowatt hours to 17.5 kilowatt hours. In some situations, we are able to operate net energy positive. So in that case, we can operate indefinitely. Theoretically, in reality, biofouling will limit it. In other cases where you're running higher powered sensors, such as a multi-beam sonar system, you are limited by that battery payload. So it could mean for a multi-beam 60 hours continuously. For our size of USV, we have more payload capability than any other comparable vehicle, and that's in part due to our patented self-righting system, which uses buoyancy versus ballast, so that makes us a much lighter vessel.
What's the main value propositions to your customers?
It's more affordable than sending a ship out there. It's zero emission, and it's safer because people are on shore. So for example, I'll give you a few specific examples. In offshore wind, we have a lot of challenges in North America with marine mammal monitoring. It is very expensive. There's limited resources. There's limited ships to go out there. You can send these vessels out. You can send them out in all conditions. They can stay there 24/7, and you can have operators on shore that get that data back in real time. So you can get streaming video, you can get streaming acoustics. So in many cases, you can more accurately detect and identify the marine mammals than we do in traditional methods.
Do you have plans to operate in a swarm?
In a storm? Yes.
In a swarm of robots?
In a swarm. So we have operated with 3 vehicles at once. We just did a deployment in the Caribbean for a marine protected area, illegal fishing enforcement. And yes, we are moving increasingly towards fleet and swarm operations. We've just designed our 2nd generation vehicle, which is designed for manufacturability. And we're going to start selling those vehicles so we can manufacture 2 a month. And we can scale to 6 a month.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much to Open Ocean Robotics Canada. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our 5th of 8 of our grand finalists, we have Planis Technologies from India. Let's welcome them, please. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us here. I'm Tanuj, founder of Planis. So Planis is revolutionizing infrastructure integrity. So As you see, infra market today, there are a lot of bridges, dams, ports, plants across the world, probably costing more than $100 trillion today. There's not enough capital to rebuild them again. So extending the life, prolonging the life, maintaining it for longer is the key forward. For this, inspection is the most important. New technologies, new payloads, new sensors are coming in. So inspection data collection, interpretation, and decision-making becomes key for prolonging the life of these assets. Problems today for underwater inspection is diver-based, which is not that safe, less reliable, and low productivity. The machines are either too small, they can do very limited work, or too big, too costly. And lastly, when we talk about data, it's a whole lot of PDFs, paper, and a lot of videos. 100 hours of videos, nobody has time to see. So you need to quickly understand what's the crux of 100 hours and take quick decisions, and the right decision, or the best decision at that time. So Planis has been working on this for 9 years. We've indigenously designed, developed, manufactured the robotic platforms. We focus on advanced testing technology. To give you an example, we see a lot of steel structures along the coast, a lot of marine growth. Inspecting those, you need to clean, you need to put a probe, you need to test it. We have done work where you don't need to clean, you can inspect directly. That saves a lot of time, manpower, and much more accurate. Secondly, underwater concrete, there's no way to inspect underwater. We have technology that we've built that can inspect underwater concrete. Sounds surprising that the world's dams and bridges, there's only visual inspection today. All this data set coupled with a digital analytics platform basically creates a uniqueness around a solution. And we are basically there wherever there's water. Bridges, dams, terminals. We also do a lot of work inside plants and refineries. That's saving a lot of shutdown time, turnaround time, making it safer, avoiding confined man entry. And the benefits are on both fronts. Societal front, safer infrastructure, avoiding catastrophic failure, saving lives. We often talk about automation, reducing manpower. What we're looking at is reskilling manpower that can cater to the modern challenges of this digital world, where you still need to operate, you still need the human brain to take practical decisions for repair and maintenance, and finally, extending the life has its own benefits. Our time at PIER71 has been fantastic. The ecosystem has helped us get more information about the region, avoid a lot of probably first-time mistakes, market access, and a lot of mentorship support as well. So over the 9 years, we've made an impact in 7 countries till today, directly through partners, impacted more than 400 structures using this technology solution. And we're actually creating and growing the market here. Like, if you ask me, is that the market today? No, it isn't, but that's the potential, because a lot of use cases that we have, they don't do anything today. You see some of global energy companies, some of large ports. So our technology solution has helped them change the way they think about asset inspection and decision making. So that's been our roadmap till today. And where do we go from here? We're looking to scale, working with asset managers to speak on how we can help them better, speak to any potential partners who have access to the ecosystem, access to customers, and we go there together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks to you and your team for doing this. How deep can your vessel go? And for how long can it do the inspection?
Yeah, 120 meters, it's tethered, so theoretically unlimited. In current state, it's limited to the manpower, the endurance of the manpower, so 8-9 hours or so. And one clarification, we don't do offshore. I think there's a lot of companies out there who do offshore. We leave it to the big boys. We focus on near shore and onshore is where we see a lot of white space, where currently advanced testing is not available today.
You know, we have very blurry or muddy waters here. Is your solution able to adapt to that?
Yeah, so we come from India, where the waters are the most muddiest. So we excel at that, actually. So a small 30-second anecdote, Indian Railways, 150,000 bridges, Indian Railways, and some of them are in rivers where nothing survives. And we've been able to get data in such cases to help them. So we do have turbid water inspection solutions, hardware, software, both, that help us see in near zero visibility conditions. And this is not sonar. I'm talking about visual inspection in this case, yeah. But yes, there will still be limitations. Every tech has limitations, so there will still be limitations, yeah.
In India, who are your competitors and what advantage do you have over them?
Yeah, so we have a three-part solution: the marine robotics, the testing, the advanced non-destructive testing, and the dashboard play. Most players work in silos, so they only compete with us on the robotics part with basic visual inspection, not on the NDT or the dashboard part. So we have got this cross-checked, and through customers, we don't have any head-to-head competitor. We have competition in silos, basically. So divers who buy off-the-shelf small ROVs, or ROV OEMs who basically just focus on ROV and visual inspection, who do not have an understanding of NDT.
Unfortunately, beyond being murky waters in Singapore at times, it is also very saline and very corrosive. So how do you withstand and maintain that in the midst of...
So are you talking about the
waters in Singapore? They are not only difficult to spot underwater with lots of sediments, but it is also very saline and very high in salt content and very corrosive to many metals and to many structures.
Yeah.
So how would your device operate in such an environment? So
actually, that's the reason we get business in Singapore, because that corrodes the structure, and that is why we come in and we inspect. Practically, it does not impact the robotic system as such, because we can always remove it, clean it with fresh water, and have some maintenance. So we have not really seen great difference. It's not there for too long, right? It's not a habitat ROV, basically. Yeah, so we don't see too much of a challenge in such a case. We use plastics and small and composites which can be easily replaced or fixed in case it's too bad, yeah.
Have you done, and do you have customers in the maritime industry, like inspecting hull of ships, or only infrastructure?
Mostly infrastructure. In a shipping industry, we do very detailed inspection, which doesn't make it a business case because they are looking to ensure the class certifies the inspection. So it's not a fit for what we are looking at to do as a solution to the basic visual requirement of the ship. However, we do have a magnetic crawler coming up for ship hull scanning. So that would be useful there, but not today, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much to Planis Technologies.
Thank you.
From India. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, judges, as well. The last final three groups. Group number 6, we have Shiko from South Korea. Let's welcome them with some applause, please. Thank you very much.
All right, hello everyone. Glad to meet you all here today. This is Choji Choi, a head of global sales at Sheco. So as shown in a picture, Sheco develops a marine cleaning robot to recover the pollutants on the surface of the water. So it's type of the robot vacuum cleaner in our home, transforming its idea into a marine and water environments. So our ocean is polluted every day with a wide variety of the pollutants. So among those pollutants, Sheco focus on oil spill problem because oil spills happens every day in Korea, and globally there are 4,000 times more spills happening around. But the recovery structure is quite unsustainable. As you can imagine, the manual labor is expensive, dangerous, and not efficient. And even the traditional machines requires a lot of time, cost, and other professionals and assembly, only targeting for the large-scale accidents with the high viscosity oil. But the real problem is that 90% of these oil spills are smaller scale near the ports and handled by the manual labor. And also, this type of the pollution accidents are regulated by the strict international law. And then the automation is essential due to the ship fuel is keep changing because of the carbon neutrality policies. And also, the viscosity of the oils are getting lower and lower. And then the new fuels are explosive and toxic. So Sheco aims to transition this outdated industry into a future industry utilizing with the AI and robotics, and the company plans to solidify the hegemony of the market with the unmanned cleaning robots. So we are finally completing the GCS, integrating between hardware and then the autonomous operation, and also the AI technology into one system to build a database. I strongly believe that our autonomous vision will well align with the Singapore ports in terms of the recovering the new fuels and chemicals, which cannot be handled by the manual labor or existing equipment. And definitely, the robot is 10 times more efficient than manual labor, and also possible to reduce 60% in operation resources and 30% in management resources. And we expect that if it's interfaced with the robot station, there's going to be reduction in 90% in operation and 60% in management resources. So Sheco has been growing with the lot of various open innovation and relations with the major companies and Korean governments such as Korean Coast Guard and Korean Navy, and also the Korean Ocean Management. So in Singapore, we expected to involve joint R&D and then the government project and also the fundraising to construct a complete unmanned marine cleaning system. So we all know the Singapore ports, and Singapore is the major point of the marine business, and also it's a high volume of the ports already adopting the autonomous system right now. So our vision is very well aligned with to manage the marine ecosystem in Singapore ports. So Sheco is a 4-year startup established in 2019, and currently 19 people are working as a team. So as our slogan is sharing clean environment of the current generation with the next generation. So we mainly developed the technology for the human safety and marine ecosystem. All right, thank you. Going green with robotics.
Thanks for coming from Korea and doing your part in making both ports and countries free from oil spills. As we now know in Singapore, and Singaporeans are familiar, different types of oil can spill. You won't know what type of oil has spilled in the initial hours. And we now know with time, the viscosity of the oil changes. With temperature, the viscosity of the oil changes. With the waves, the viscosity of the oil changes and can be at different depths of the ocean. So how would your device tackle these challenges?
Okay, so our significant difference than traditional equipment and Sheco's equipment is the suction technology. So mostly the traditional equipment collects oil with the drum, brush, or weir type, which is not durable for the different viscosity. But the suction system with the impeller, which is a special design by our company, it doesn't really have any tackle from the viscosity of the oil, because since it's collecting water and then the oil together with this impeller system, and that have a real-time separation system built inside. So it's very independent of the viscosity. So there wasn't any type of the technology for actually collecting the very low viscosity oil. Most of them are handled by the manpower using absorbent pads, and that's even not efficient at all. But these technologies with the suction using the impeller and real-time separation also can handle the very light oil called the shin oil, white oil, diesel to the bunker B.
And what happens if during operation you hit some debris and your solution get stuck?
So our current model has the grind and also the grill shape right in front of the suction system. So it blocks the debris comes in. If the smaller parts than the grill comes into the robotic system, it doesn't really matter. It's just gonna stuck on a filter, in a mesh filter inside. You can just wash it out and reuse it.
How will you adapt this for chemical spills?
Okay, so we never stop challenging for the handling wide variety of the pollutants. Our major goal is using one machine handling for other different all chemicals comes up to the ship fuels and also the restrict by the regulation. So we started from the oil spills. Now we test for the another chemicals such as methanol. And also we figured out that it's working for the dust on the surface of the water. So we recently had a POC with the Samsung Heavy Industry for recovering the ship paint on the surface of the water near the island, and also the PIER from the power plants. So we are keep focusing on recovering the other materials, and also going to launch the new model pretty soon for handling the marine debris and handling the oil booms and fans and oil recovery at the same time.
Methanol is very viscous and miscible with water and mixed with water well. Above 13 degrees, it flashes very well and becomes a plume. So how are your experiments ongoing in Korea on methanol?
We don't have a specific data because it's really hard to get a methanol itself to be tested. So we are just ready for the researching and developing the upcoming methanol response system. We hope we can get some methanol to test a little bit more.
Lots of methanol here.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you explain how you use AI in your ship?
Okay, AI is basically integrating for the hardware for self-navigation and also the robot station. So we are currently doing the POC in Korea for the smart cities and also the monitoring system.
Thank you very much to our judges and to Shekil from South Korea as well. Thank you so much for coming all the way to Singapore. Thank you very much. And after Shekil, we have our 7th team, and they are TO Spark Energy from Singapore. Let's welcome them, please.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Dr. Rao from TO Spark. I'm today here to share with you some exciting breakthrough in battery technology, which enabled us to prepare the compact, safest, high energy density, lightweight, and sustainable. It doesn't catch fire even we are at 80 degrees centigrade. Today's batteries are bulky, heavy, unsafe, unsustainable because of the materials that we are using in the preparation of these batteries. Do you know we are producing 1 trillion ton of CO2 for the preparation of lithium-ion batteries that we are preparing today per year? It's an urgent solution we need for. And we are here from TO Spark, where we use a material which is waste from oil refineries and make batteries and give the highest energy density possible, which is patent from National University of Singapore. And we made these batteries possible. And what are we doing this for maritime? And Singapore is looking for the electrification of the maritime as soon as possible. And our batteries can help in enhancing or speeding up this goal, because our batteries can enhance 3 times longer travel distance when compared with the existing lithium-ion batteries, which are safe, high energy density because they're light, and lead to the high sustainable and low cost battery, which is about 20%. And it doesn't produce as much as the CO2 for the production of these batteries. How are we going to work with? We are going to work with the maritime industry and replacing the existing batteries in terms of JVs, in terms of supply of our batteries, and developing pilot projects for the batteries which can comply with the maritime industry. And at the end, we wanted to make a sustainable ecosystem for batteries with low emission of the carbon dioxide. In this target, we did achieve a traction for 2,000 cells per year, and we are working with more people, and out of maritime, we have a traction of 1 million batteries per year. And you can see the excitement from the industry. They are looking for our batteries and wanted to use as soon as possible. And I would say thanks to the PIER71 for helping us in connecting with the maritime. And how are we going to contribute to the community? As I said, Singapore aiming to reduce the 70% of emission of CO2 by 2030, and we can help in doing this, in enhancing the performance and reducing the CO2 emission. And we wanted to give a cost effectiveness and return of early investment. And we wanted to be safe, as I said, that thermal runaway cannot take place before 80 degrees centigrade. And we wanted to help in reaching the sustainable development goals in Singapore. And to summarize, we are the first solid-state lithium-sulfur battery in the world, and we are improved the safety, enhanced the environmental sustainability, and we have a strong traction. And I asked you to join with me to develop a clean, sustainable maritime industry. If you want to know who is our team is here. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Rao and team. The lithium-sulfur cell chemistry is well known to have a poor cycle life due to polysulfide shuttling and inhibited charge issues, which reduces the lifespan because of the known low electrical conductivity of sulfur. How does your technology solve some of these known issues?
Yep. As you can see in the slide, the people who are competitors, they are using liquid electrolytes. Because of that, they go for the low cyclability. And we are replacing this liquid electrolyte with a polymer electrolyte, which is helping us to enhance the performance of the battery. The number of cycles can be increased.
And can you quantify your life cycle span compared to some of your competitors here?
Yes. We are about 2,000 cycles as of now, and we are still extending the number of cycles.
What's your plan for this technology outside maritime?
We, as I said, that outside maritime, we have traction from the drone applications, and we have traction for the surveillance cameras, and we are working on that.
How do you think about the recycling of these lithium-sulfur batteries after the first or second charge in the use in electric vessels?
Yeah. Since the byproduct at the end of the cycle, it is going to be lithium-sulfur. And it is not really a problem for this from the environment, and it can be reused also by removing some of the organic components.
How does this technology compare with many of the emerging battery technologies, such as sodium and many of the new ones?
Yes, you can see this slide. Sorry for that. Okay, the first part of them are LFP batteries, which are giving energy density about 150 watt-hour per kg. And if somebody wants to try for a full solid-state battery, it can go up to 200 watt-hour per kg in case of LFP battery chemistry. And if somebody wants to use NMC, they are about 250 watt-hour per kg, and they can reach at the maximum of about 450 watt-hour per kg. But we are already on the top, and we are aiming for the better.
What are some of the constraints about manufacturing such batteries, say, in Singapore?
Cost. Cost is the one, and the space is another one. To be frank, we are confident that we can go to the next level pilot plant production within Singapore. We are planning for about 30 to 50 megawatt-hour scale within Singapore, and later we will work with the government organization and see how we move on.
Any regional or international partners?
As I showed you in the traction, that out of maritime, there are people from India, from Indonesia.
What are some of your biggest challenges to scale up and reducing the costs?
As I see, the manpower is a big challenge when it is coming to Singapore. And it is outside Singapore, we have to see the lithium is, I think I can show you the techno-economic analysis if I have here. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So lithium is a more expensive material as of now in my battery. So we have to work on it.
Thank you very much to our judges and to Theo Spark Energy Singapore as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. And our final grand finalist we have from the UK, we have Zelim. Let's welcome Zelim from the United Kingdom. Let's give them a big hand, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sam, founder, CEO of Zelim. Just wanted to extend my congratulations to the guys before me. I'm really inspired to be part of such amazing innovations. So Zelim, we're a technology company focused on search, rescue, and security. My background, I'm a mariner, sailor, spent best part of 10 years living and working offshore. This image here is something that terrifies me when I've worked offshore. Wanted to start with a fact. 80% of deaths from drowning occur in the first 30 minutes. Speed of detection and subsequent action is fundamental to saving people's lives. Added to that, we've got some macro challenges that we need to address. As we all know, there's greater instability globally, and this is driving migrants and piracy, which is creating real issues in the maritime industry. We're getting more and more people are working offshore, more and more shipping traffic, more energy installations. And in the cruise space, there's lots and lots more people going offshore. So what are we doing about it? We're creating products to find, recover, and protect people at sea. Zoe, our flagship product, is an AI-based detection tool which autonomously detects people and target objects at sea, providing real-time alerting to operators and infrastructure owners. On the right there, we've got the Swift, which is our man overboard recovery system deployed with Changi Airport. And it's a conveyor rescue system that very quickly drags people out of the water. Those two technologies combined give us an unmanned rescue capability with the Guardian, which is tested up to sea state 6 and will autonomously recover people from the water. So to go into a little bit more detail about the software of Zoe. Zoe works by monitoring real-time video feeds and providing analytics on the video feed. And if it sees a person in the water or a threat coming in, it will raise an alarm. That's an audible and visual alarm. You then get the event trigger. So this is for the operator to interpret. Is it a threat or not? And then you get the live playback. This can be used obviously for search and rescue, but also asset security and counter piracy. So about Zelim, in a couple of short points, we are a hardware and software provider. We work globally across multiple markets. We're in defense, offshore wind, oil and gas, cruise, and hoping to move into the Middle Eastern market with partnerships and distributor agreements. We're a small company with 30 employees based out of Scotland primarily. We've just raised a little bit of money to go on the growth journey and expand globally. We believe this new technology can revolutionize marine safety offshore. And the team founded by mariners and search and rescue professionals. So Pete and Matt on the right-hand side there are head of search and rescue for the UK and the US Coast Guard, respectively. And then Doug was very senior in Microsoft and Intel, and then Stu from the head of operations from Vied. As I said, we're looking to expand into Southeast Asia. We're looking to do this through partners and distributors who can help us help us on our way in revolutionising marine safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and welcome to Singapore.
Thank you.
How do you minimize false positive in harsh environments and rough seas?
So you've got to test it is the first thing. So we've partnered with the US Coast Guard, and then it's all about data. So you've got to get a big data set to train the models on, and then validate the models on. So we've got what we believe is the world's biggest data set of search and rescue and marine objects. We've got over 7 million labeled images, and that gives us a really high accuracy, really low false positive rate. It's not, it's obviously not perfect, but in the installations we have, we're getting less than 1 per week.
Yeah, just another question. In your opening statement, you say that fatalities happen, within 30 minutes of people falling overboard. So, what's your market here? I mean, you're talking about having this solution readily deployed in a network or offshore system, or
yeah, so there's a number of different markets for it. If we look just since we've been on the cohort here, just in Singapore in the immediate vicinity, we've had 2 fatal man overboards in the last 3 months. So that's the market. Where does it happen from? It can happen from anywhere, really. The port infrastructure, obviously shipping. Key challenge is knowing that actually somebody's gone in the water. Obviously, if you stood next to them and you see them go in the water, it goes without saying you've seen them go in the water. If you're not there, you're not there, and that's the key point, is the consistency and the reliability.
How will you operate this at night in the wee hours when incidents typically happen and the search and rescue is a bit more difficult?
Absolutely. So my background is North Sea, wintertime, at night, and I've lost friends over the side. So I know exactly what that's like, and yeah, it's tested to work daytime, nighttime. We use infrared cameras and normal daylight cameras.
Special about your system? What's unique about it that is really, revolutionary?
It's fantastic in every way imaginable. It's all about the data set. It's all about the partnerships. So we've partnered with the US Coast Guard, partnered with the Canadian Air Force. Where we sort of differ is we have real-life search and rescue guys, real-life mariners, and a team of software developers.
Can you talk a bit about that unique proposition at night? How will your infrared sensors differ from the commercial ones? And what does it do in order for you to have a more accurate or more swift safety and rescue?
So the sensors are not our sensors. They're off-the-shelf sensors. What we provide is the analytics on the sensors. So you can have a £20 million infrared camera, as some people do, but if there's nobody watching it, there's nobody watching it. So what we provide is the permanent monitoring on the sensor. So we can integrate with more or less any sensor. So if you've got CCTV in your ports, we can provide the real-time analytics on that, on as many streams as you need.
How do you differentiate and calibrate your sensors?
So the way we package the software is we install the solution, and then if it's something that we've done before, we install the solution, leave it bed in for a couple of weeks, and then we hand it off to you, and then there's a support line. If it's something that we've not done before, in an area that we've not done before, we do a bedding in period of about 3 months, where we get the data, we improve the system with the client, and then after about 3 months, we hand it on, and then again, you get 24-hour service and support. Thank you. Saved by the bell.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you to our judges, and thank you to all our 8 grand finalists as well. And of course, we say a big thank you to our judges for your contributions too, for all the Q&As, and may I now invite the judges to adjourn to the next room to deliberate on the results. Judges, please. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please give our top 8 a big hand, as well as our judges too. Thank you so much for your contributions to judges, as well as our grand finalists. We wish you all the best. And coming up next, we have the 11 semi-finalist startups who are also presenting today. Our semi-finalists have 3 minutes to introduce themselves and offer you a glimpse of their incredible talent and creativity. They will not be engaged by the judges. So ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder also that we have the 3 prizes by our sponsors, and everyone who is presenting today, including our semi-finalists, I believe they'll be qualifying for that as well. So without further ado, let's give the 11 semi-finalists a round of applause to welcome them. Thank you very much. Thank you. And the first would be Kinetics Pro from Singapore. Thank you very much for joining us and being the first semi-finalist. 3 minutes starts now.
Hi everyone, great to be here. We're Kinetics Pro. I'm Joe, CEO, co-founder, and we're an AI workplace safety company. So safety is a huge problem today. About 240 million workplace safety accidents happens annually, and within that, 2.3 million fatalities happen. And this happens for many high-risk industries, including for maritime, for ports, shipyards, terminals, shipping, oil and gas, and for industrial settings, manufacturing, logistics, and so forth. One example of a safety risk that we can use is probably fuel handling, and this directly applies to the maritime industry. Right now, there's a shift of going from ammonia as well as methanol as new emerging fuels, and they're extremely powerful but extremely dangerous. So right now, it's very hard to detect safety fuel leakages as well as compliance and handling of these kind of new fuels. In fact, this problem is so big that actually, within the first 2 months of joining PIER71, we've already gotten 2 LOIs, one with Jurong Port and one with ST Marine to solve this specific issue, as well as an NDA signed with Sear Trim as well. Why is this such a big problem today? Because safety today is manually tracked, extremely inaccurate. Imagine 1,000 people on site. You can't track what's happening. You don't have data on your operational risk. It's also very hard to monitor, and then also it's not very preventative. And the market is huge, $240 billion cost of workplace safety annually. And then after that, for Singapore, a small country like itself, $2 billion. We're an end-to-end pipeline that solves this problem using existing CCTV cameras connected to our AI system. And what we do is we provide 24/7 safety detection, instant risk notification, IoT integration and warning, as well as analytics and reporting. After working with many companies, we also have a range of 40 different kind of AI risk modules that we synthesize to help solve these problems that could scale to many different companies as well as different industries. One of our unique value proposition is our dynamic spatial tracking technology, which enables us to track vehicle and pedestrian movement, as well as potential collision risk in the digital twin map. And in fact, maritime players like Sear Trim likes it so much that they want us to implement it as a huge, basically global digital twin map for their whole facility and also track productivity there. We're super excited about this technology. What our business model is we work with large multinational companies, and we try to scale locally in the site for 1 year, first year, one site, and after that, scale regionally to 20 facilities, and then globally, hopefully to 50 facilities plus. Currently, we've been operating for 2 years, and we already got 7 paid POCs worth more than 100K, and we're aiming to close 2 contracts at the end of this year. Some of the companies we're working with, STMicroelectronics, Haleon, ABB in the regional level, Danieli, and very proud to say we're working with Colgate, Global Vice President of Safety in the New Jersey office, deploying China and Mexico. So huge potential, huge market, super excited. We have a team of experts in AI, spatial computation, as well as digital transformation. And currently, we're raising $2.5 million to make our product scalable in APAC and then globally. Currently, we're deploying in 5 countries, have a pipeline of 13 countries. Super keen. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Kinetics Pro from Singapore. Thank you. You may join us off stage right now. Thank you very much. You may take a breath as well. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome from Malta, Marine Hound. Let's give him a big hand to welcome him. 3 minutes. Let's go.
Hello, Singapore. My name is Nicky. I'm from Malta, and we have many things in common. We are islanders. It's a small country, so we can travel and meet a lot of people, and we know each other really well. And we are, as well, a good flag state country. And since we meet each other well, I had the opportunity back in 2021 to meet with the harbor master, and he had one big problem, the IMO 2020, the sulfur monitoring, the fuel emissions, reporting to the IMO, the European Union, then CERCA, then NECA. And he said, with so much little human resources, how can I do this? How can I be compliant? And we came up with a solution. It's a breathalyzer for ships. It's an automated way how to actually measure emissions and help them to report and to verify. So we help both port authorities and shipping companies through our second product, but we want to focus on the first product here, to actually comply with their fuel emissions monitoring, reporting, and verification. And we don't like to put humans in this chain, and in fact, we are automating this. So in Malta, in Valletta, we have a ground station to your left, with this always monitoring. In these 3 minutes that I will be talking, it has already done 6 measurements. And with the port of Algeciras in Spain, that have 30,000 port calls, another headache, we're doing it with a buoy system, 2 buoys, far away from the port, acting as a corridor, scanning all the vessels that are coming in. However, in Singapore, there is a challenge. It's an open port, no breakwaters, or no inlets where there is a single channel, and it's an anchorage port. So you have to take a boat to actually go inspect on the vessel. And we can do that more affordably with drones. And in fact, we have a letter of intent signed by a Singaporean company called Performance Routers, and we actually can cheaply go in the plume, take a sample, take it to our gas analyzer that can do multiple gases, so it's future-proof for LNG. We're talking about methane slips, VOCs, et cetera, and we can measure that. So we are here to collaborate. We are seeking partnerships and joint ventures. And to conclude with, the first sentence is what actually put me in the engineering career. People who are really serious about software should make their own hardware. But now we live in the information age, and this is why now we do both hardware and software, because we're serious about the data. And without data, without measurement, we cannot walk the talk. So measured data drives effective change, and that's what we believe in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And up next, we have from Singapore, Signaplus. Let's welcome our friend Signaplus from Singapore. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brandon. I'm from SGNA Plus, Signaplus. We're doing safe and sustainable sodium-ion batteries. So the drive for electrification is especially strong in the maritime sector. So by 2050, we know that we have to achieve net zero emissions. So electrification is the way to go. However, there are many issues with current lithium-ion batteries. One of it is battery fires. So battery fires is the #1 cause of maritime insurance claim, and this accounts for $7.5 billion of business loss annually. The other issue of lithium-ion batteries is a sustainability concern. In terms of battery manufacturer as well as the recycling of these batteries itself, there is such issues for lithium-ion chemistry. In the maritime sector, there's also a unique issues with lithium-ion batteries in the sense that certain safety components, safety regulation is only imposed on lithium-ion chemistries and not on other kind of chemistries. And that's why today I would like to introduce SGNA Plus. We are building the world's safest and greenest high-performance sodium-ion batteries. So in terms of positioning-wise, we are better in terms of the sustainability and performance efficiency, as well as the fire safety. So this is how we position ourselves against other competitors in the sodium-ion market, as well as lithium-ion phosphate chemistry, as well as lead-acid chemistry. In terms of performance, we are better in we are comparable in energy density lithium-ion phosphate batteries, and we have a faster rate of charging. Whereas for lead-acid batteries, we are better in energy density, fast charging and discharging, as well as cycle life. We also patented these solutions in terms of the material that we produce that allows us to be non-flammable, and we will share that further in the booth behind. So some of the applications that I would like to share today we have is on energy storage system, e-vessels, offshore power supply, as well as more UPS system and hybrid systems itself. So this is some of our POC tractions that we have in the maritime space. In e-vessel sites, we actually want to use sodium-ion batteries to replace the lithium-ion phosphate chemistry itself, to increase the fire safety as well as charge-discharge performance, as well as increase the overall weight efficiency, because in lithium-ion chemistry, there's a lot of fire safety components that's required and imposed by the classification society, where sodium-ion batteries is not yet imposed. Another traction that we have is on UPS system, or uninterrupted power supply. TSI Power is a USA-based company, and Xylem is an MNC doing water treatment solutions. So they're using commercial LFP solutions, and now we want to replace that using our sodium-ion batteries to enhance the lifespan as well as decrease the cost. The third traction is on aquatic robotics. So this one is Clearbot, one of our startups here. So we want to replace it with our sodium-ion batteries because we have a fast charging, and this also increases the lifespan of the solution itself. So this is our team. We have a team of experts in terms of commercialization as well as research, and we overall have a lot of partners in the entire battery space in terms of battery recycling, utilities companies, as well as battery manufacturers. So with that, I would like to ask you guys to collaborate with us, and then we're also seeking for investors to invest in our technology itself. So with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Signaplus from Singapore. Thank you. That was Signaplus from Singapore. And now we go over to the US. Let's welcome Stax Engineering from US. Welcome.
I promised a cartwheel, but I'm going to save you guys that. Thanks all for coming today. Appreciate it. And thanks to PIER71 for the opportunity to present, and also for the fellow speakers for the inspiration. There's so many great companies here today, and a lot of hard work has been put into all these. My name is Mike Walker. I'm the CEO of Stax Engineering. Stax Engineering, besides looking like a big praying mantis, is an emission capture and control service. So what's the problem? Currently, vessels at berth emit somewhere between 27,000 and 30,000 equivalent of car emissions per day while they're sitting at berth and at anchor. So what's the solution? Went the wrong way. But Stax Engineering offers a mobile, barge-based, land-based emission capture solution that captures the emission stream from these containers, auto carriers, and tankers, which produce PM, NOx, and SOx. The Stax solution effectively removes 99 to 96% of that waste stream as it comes off the vessel type. How do we do it? Well, it's with next generation technology. We're supported by 11 patents that allow us to treat a range of vessel types from auto carriers to container ships to tankers. We currently operate in 6 ports throughout the state of California, and our customers include container lines like CMA CGM, OOCL, Hapag-Lloyd, auto carriers NYK, Glovis, and tankers like Chevron or Shell and Olympus. We currently have 8 barges in operation, and we have forecasted revenue from guaranteed take-or-pay contracts of roughly $50 million for 2025. What's new and what's exciting about Stax is we're going to add carbon capture to our solution, which will effectively enable our customers to be provided with a zero-emission solution at any port in any city or any country that they go into. Additionally, we're expanding our footprint into the UK and to the EU in 2025. A little bit about the Stax team. Bob Sharp, CTO, 17 years of experience in emission capture and control. You have Captain John Holmes, who formerly ran the Coast Guard for the Port of Los Angeles. And you have Dr. Randall Pasick, who was a chief regulator at the California Air Resource Board. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Stax Engineering from the US. Thank you. And now we have our next team, and they are Setasol from Singapore and Sweden. Let's welcome them.
Hello everyone, my name is Simon Johansson and I work with Setasol, who I'm gonna present for you today. Setasol is an energy management software. One of the biggest problems fleet managers have today is fuel consumption. The cost can range from 30 to 50% of the total operational cost. And this is due to one main factor, it's variation in operation. It can differ between 10 to 35% for different captains. And there is also external forces coming in, like International Maritime Organization, which sets greenhouse gas emission targets for the future. So you being a fleet manager, you have hundreds of vessels with hundreds of signals and tons of data at your hand. and you are supposed to optimize your operations from this. This is where Zetasol comes in. We make this an easy choice for fleet managers to control their operations by giving them actionable insights. We have a two-part solution, one for captains to guide them on the vessels, and one on the cloud solution to help fleet managers make the right decision. Our main benefit is our digital twin model. This one is based on data we collect from the vessels to build AI models for use in different purposes. Our main purpose as of today is energy management. We want to reduce energy consumption of the vessels, but we can easily extend this intellectual property to different regions, such as predictive maintenance or fleet route planning and such. And our collaboration with Singapore today is going very well, especially through this PIER71 event, where we have got introduction to a lot of different companies, and we even got 3 customers so far, PSAM, KST, and MEO. But our solution is just not an ID, it is a deployed solution. We have over 70 customers deployed today, ranging from electric vessels to hybrid ferries, tugboats, pilot boats, all the way up to cargo vessels. And we see a huge potential in this customer group. We see savings being able from 10 to 25% on energy consumption. Bringing this to the Singaporean market, we can see a huge benefit because there is a lot of vessels in a dense market that consume a lot of fuel, and this is where we can help. Our team is a small team based in Sweden, founded in 2021, and we are working to expand our operations further, especially here in Singapore. Currently, we have a partnership with Volvo Penta, where we're going to be installed together with their engines on the customers here in Southeast Asia, and we want to build more of those collaborations. So we want partners and clients here in Singapore to extend our optimization tools further in this market. Thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions about our operations, you are welcome to our booth after the presentations.
Thank you very much to Zetasol from Singapore and Sweden. Thank you very much. And now we're heading back to Singapore, and let's welcome Nexus Ocean. Let's welcome them.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. We're Nexus Ocean from Singapore. Thanks for your time. I started my journey as a cadet, went all the way up to Master Mariner, worked with Maersk and TK, and I realized if there was a problem powerful enough to solve, it would be a people-related problem, which don't get much attention in the maritime industry, and it's evident from the millennials that are not excited about joining us. So we've designed how bad is the problem? This is how bad it is. The global fleet will be 3 times its size by 2050, while the supply of talent is heading in the opposite direction, and you're looking at a shortfall of 9% of officers today, with 47% of existing professionals like ourselves retiring in the next 5 to 10 years, leaving a huge vacuum. The existing professionals are overloaded and inundated with mundane work like emails, working through siloed systems, making their lives difficult and causing a burnout. Backed by tech giants, we are building the GenAI native operating system for the maritime industry, which is creating generative AI agents, and if you made digital twins of the critical roles in the maritime industry. We have 3 solutions right now. CMate reduces your emails, and when you arrive in the morning, in your mailbox, you have emails answered like your professional profile. So marine managers' emails are answered like a marine manager, a technical manager, and a commercial manager, like their job and the role. Savitar converts your unstructured mailbox into a powerful intuitive knowledge graph that gives you historical information, prompts, alerts, and recommendations to make your life better, save you money. Savant integrates with your existing business systems and also gives you intuitive suggestions while opening it up to improvisations in the business and 80% automation in the business. We bounced it off end users, so it's not just us. It is maritime professionals with 400 plus professionals, around 6,000 years of expertise that said, yes, this is a problem worth solving. Not much change since I left mainstream shipping, and we feel we can solve this problem. How are we different? We're different from large language models. That's a vanilla flavor. We go deep down in maritime, and we're building an AI model that is tuned, bespoke to the maritime industry. We are also not just an email solution. While we realize it's the business critical role of a communication system, we connect it to your business systems and build an AI superhighway that helps in decision making. Deep maritime and deep tech with integration capabilities with the industry, domain expertise of 6,000 years with a maritime first approach, and our solutions delivers immediate impact with CMate saving 2 to 4 hours per user per day when we launch it on the day of launch, and Savitar and Savant taking it to almost 80% of business efficiency level. What your Gen AI Buddy does for you, immediate cost efficiency and productivity increase, your workforce much more engaged, resulting in low churn and delivering higher value prop, and up to 80% business automation. That's the team. That's our advisory panel, and we're backed by tech giants like AWS, Google, Microsoft, and as of next week, NVIDIA. Thank you very much. Let's help elevate your business. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Nexus Ocean from Singapore. Thank you. And now we move on to team number 7 of 11. We have Sealoop from Norway. Welcome, Sealoop.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Minister, and distinguished guests. We have a big problem. The problem is that we don't have a planet B. And yet, we have allowed our oceans to be littered with plastics. But plastics is not an environmental issue. Plastics is an economic issue. It is an issue related to our survival. There is no modern society without plastics. From the clothes we wear, to the cars we drive, to the cell phones we hold, everything is plastic. So while we find alternatives, we need to do something with the plastics that is being produced. My name is Vineet Batura. I am the co-founder and COO of Sealoop. And our aim is to bring circular economic solutions to the maritime space at scale. Our focus is to reuse and recycle retired material from ships, thus converting waste to value. Our starting point is mooring ropes. Every ship has between 18 to 20 mooring ropes, retired between 3 to 5 years, thus creating a significant amount of consumable plastics. And as things stand today, most of it ends up in landfills or is being incinerated, or worst, could end up in the oceans. We intend to change that. So the question is, why aren't anybody doing anything about it? The fact of the matter is that the waste streams are complex. There is no reverse logistics, and there is no secondary exchange market for the materials recovered. The odds are staggering. At a very microscopic level, our story resonates with the story of Singapore. At the birth of our nation, a country ravaged by war, civil unrest, and no natural resources, to our founding fathers, the odds would have been staggering. But yet, 5 decades later, we stand here in a position not just to influence the region, but the world. No country, no individual, no organization can solve this problem alone. We have taken the first step. So I ask is simple. We have taken the first step towards taking back plastics and finding use cases around it. What we need is not your money. It's not your investment. What we seek are partners, collaborators, and influencers who can help scale our business to create massive impact socially and environmentally. We are at an inflection point. 10 years from now, the legislative landscape, the environmental landscape will be different. We are in a position today to take the first step and propel our industry and Singapore to be the beacon of environmental stewardship. In our book, our future is circular. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Sealoop from Norway. Thank you. And team number 8 of 11, we have MapC from Singapore and South Korea. Welcome. Let's welcome them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jisoo, and I'm the CEO of MapC. before I start, I would like to ask you guys a question. Do you have Google Map in your phone? Anyone who have Google Map in your phone or web service? That's what we do at sea. That's what we are building at sea. I was a chief officer on a VLCC chemical tanker and other vessels. That's where I on board. Bridge is a commanding place that have a lot of modern technology there. Later, ACTIS, AIS, all the modern technology are there. But you actually command the ship outside of the bridge, which is called the wing bridge. Actual commanding place is there. So we are thinking, what if you just bring this whole navigation equipment on captain's hand, where there's no data access? So this is the real usage of our platform, marine navigation, which gives the overall picture of the prediction of the vessels and AI algorithm to detect the obstacles and other functions. 261 marine pilots in Korea are using our platform. And the shipping company, we extend our platform to the web service. You get the weather data, voyage optimization, weather prediction, past tracks, ETA, and other functions. We provide the world scale data to the shipping company. So integrate those data. We now provide the carbon credit. We are talking about 5.6 million USD carbon credit now. We deal this year for the EU ETS in Korea. And now we are expanding in Singapore and Germany by integrating those data in the maritime field. This is real data that we have. 71% of the Earth is ocean, which is covered by Earth. So you're using Google Map in 29% of the Earth. That is the shore. But we are expanding into 71% of the Earth. So that's why we got 350% annual increase over our income and get the partnership and sales representative in Singapore, India, Indonesia, UAE, Greece, Germany, Netherlands, and other countries. Thanks to Singapore and PIER71, I permanently, as a CEO, moved to here with my family, whole family. Thank you for that. And within 2.5 months, I've been in 12 countries with a lot of our CES 2025 and 64 new clients and 4 global R&D. And we are looking for another good collaboration with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much to MapC from Singapore and South Korea. Hope that you're enjoying the food thus far in Singapore. And now we move on to Melly AI from Canada. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edward Ko. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Melly AI Solution.
Do we need help with the clicker?
Yes, please. It's not responding.
Can we help him to click for his next slide?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So yes, this looks like an office in maritime operations, and it's nobody's fault because the documents that we have to process, such as bill of lading, cargo manifest, are complex, difficult to read, and it looks different one to another. And that human needs to enter the data into the system with plenty of errors, and with the new Gen Z, nobody wants to do this work. And this is when I recognized that it is not just a problem in the maritime industry, but it's industry-wide. 5 years ago, I took on myself to build this solution using AI to find a way to do a high accuracy, high speed processing of the data while being scalable. Introducing intelligent document processing powered by generative artificial intelligence. We can process any document, any language, any format, any document type at 99% rate, 15 seconds per page, everything on cloud with our dear partner AWS. We added the automation and workflow on top so that our clients can enjoy 80% of saving in time and effort. And that's not all. What really sets us apart is that we don't only process documents, we adapt to the documents, so it learns over time. With also our no-code flexible platform, we throw the money back to our clients saying, don't spend it in IT, focus on your business. And now we're adding Copilot where our clients can ask the data, so it's like having your data assistant helping you to make data-driven decisions. Our mission at Melly AI, to build the best ITP to enhance the fluidity of international trade. We started in Canada, and we've been recognized lately. Starting with the Port of Montreal, we've been able to completely digitalize all cargo manifests, identify dangerous goods, and alert Transport Canada if there is an audit required. And then we secure funding to help all Canadian custom brokers to accelerate. And we've been named twice the top 100 AI company in Canada. And this year, we are awarded with the best AI turnkey solution. I'm excited to be in Singapore. Our go-to-market is to come in and help companies with 5,000 pages or more per month. And we offer them 63% of ROI in 3 months payback. We start with maritime. We go to logistics, account payable, HR, and beyond. And with only as little as 10 weeks, we secure some traction. And starting some examples such as the PSA, we can help them to augment the robotic process automation. With Crimson Logic, we can be an integrated solution to help their clients to have that competitive edge. And we're starting with Vibrant to optimize the logistics side. So if you're interested to learn more about our solution, please come to our booth. We're happy to show you a demonstration with real-life document and real use case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And there was Melly AI from Canada. Thank you very much. Last two of our semi-finalists, and all the way from Brazil, Tidewise. Let's welcome them.
Yeah. Hello, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rafael. I'm going to present you Tidewise. So we help port and maritime operators achieve safer, greener, and cheaper operations using uncrewed multi-purpose robots. So the lack of situational awareness, especially in the maritime and port sector, is a big issue with huge consequences. It's 5 times more riskier than working on land. And we have a big shortfall of seafarers. And the maritime sector represents 3% of all greenhouse gas emissions. So business as usual is no longer a viable option. So Tidewise helps the industry through the use of multi-purpose vehicles that can perform different kinds of services for asset inspection, seabed and coastal mapping, surveillance, environmental monitoring, and offshore and coastal logistics. This is not just an idea, it's a field-proven technology. So we have in-house hardware plus software plus operations, and this allows us to have customized, cutting-edge technologies, and this can be attested by our clients. I'm going to show you a quick testimony from one of our clients.
So if you see the Tupan, what we did today, it gives us a much more efficient tool to go out. We don't need people offshore, so it's also safer.
And we already see that we can increase flexibility, we can increase sustainability because we have less CO2 emissions and less impact on the marine life, and we decrease cost. So what we see in the future is that we will have the autonomous vessel at the platform, so we can continuously and at any time monitor our cables, our platform, and survey the area around.
So this work was done for offshore renewables in Belgium, but we also work with offshore oil and gas. We see that it's impossible to just switch from oil and gas to renewables overnight. So we also work with Petrobras, with Halliburton, and with ports like Porto do Açu for special order bathymetry. And a good use case to show is the one we've done with Halliburton. We replaced a big supply vessel with a small USV, a small uncrewed vessel, 5 meters long, with 98% of greenhouse gas emissions reduction. So it's a huge impact and also a huge economy for the company. We have impactful solutions for world transition, both for oil and gas and renewables. And we have initiatives aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It's a huge and expanding market, both for asset inspection, environmental monitoring, and we have traction supported by industry giants as clients, such as Petrobras, Shell, Halliburton, the Elia Group. And today we have signed contracts over $8 million US, and we are proud to be the first maritime startup to be invested by Embraer. And yeah, so just gonna show our team. Sorry, this group here, and thanks to them, this is possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tidewise from Brazil. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the final semi-finalist, we have Oceans from Singapore. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and good job for staying to the end because they have saved the best for last. At least I like to think so. So I'm here to show you why Mora could be the best thing for seafarer safety for a long time, right? It's a generational leap, and we are going to make safety at sea much, much better. Right, so hundreds of seafarers do not return home to their families every year due to safety incidents at sea. And this is a statistic that is close to my heart because I was almost one of them. So this is young me, and this is Captain Chris, mentor, friend, and a lifesaver. So I was aboard with Captain Chris on his ship, having a chat with him. I thought I saw something between these two large ISO tanks. Like an idiot, I stick my head in to have a look. Just at the moment, Captain Chris grabs me by the collar and yanks me back. Right away, they lift the tank and it slams against the next tank right where my head was. If not for Captain Chris, he'll be scraping my brains off the ship and I wouldn't be here talking to you. So, I'm here today because someone took a proactive stance on safety. However, my experience is not universal, as the statistics have shown. Safety at sea these days, it's still quite a very top-down process. There's not much in terms of two-way communication. It focuses mainly on the top ranks. Lower ranks are kind of neglected, which is ironic because these are the guys doing the most dangerous work. There's an increasing amount of procedures and paperwork leading to overloading for the crew. And finally, the statistics are showing that traditional methods are not working. So Mora focuses on delivering safety to all ranks aboard in an engaging manner that builds intrinsic motivation. By utilizing data and AI, we forecast safety incidents, and in doing so, we can thus prevent incidents. Safety observations are shared in a familiar environment of a safe social media platform. And instead of reading thick company manuals, which might be out of the grasp of the lower rank crew, we just ask the AI assistant, which gives an answer straight from your knowledge base, and we can even do translations. Visitors can participate easily using a QR code, and we provide a host of tools for shore teams to analyze and make sense of all the data that we have gathered. We have also built integrations with their software so that it can easily reverse into your daily operations. So AI reports are generated that break down all the hundreds or thousands of observations that we have collected into categories, and we provide also the recommendations on how to prevent them and fix them. We did a study on this, and the feedback was that, number one, we could identify issues. Number two, we were able to recommend solutions successfully, and finally, there's a high level of overall satisfaction. Some of you might have watched this old movie by Tom Cruise, where AI predicts crimes and prevents it from happening. We are doing the same, but for safety. Mora is live on 150 vessels, touching more than 5,000 lives at sea and helping them to return home safely. We've had 0% churn across 2 years in operation. And this is the team. We're looking to work with users, people with ideas that we want to work together with us, software partners to integrate with, and finally channels to bring us to more partners. So thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you, and have a great afternoon for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Oceans from Singapore. We're glad that you're still here with us. Yeah, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, that's our 11 promising semi-finalists. Let's please give them a big hand. Thank you very much. Wow, what an exciting event the Smart Port Challenge is. Earlier, we revealed the 3 amazing sponsor companies, Amazon Web Services, OCBC Bank, and PSA Singapore. They have generously sponsored cash prizes. I'm not sure whether we mentioned this, but each cash prize is worth $10,000. All right, so let's see who of our 19 talented finalists who pitched today will be winning this, because all of them were judged independently by our esteemed sponsors. So right now, it is time for our results. Let's see who has won. So the first of the 3 sponsored prizes is Amazon, the AWS Artificial Intelligence Prize. This is the Amazon Web Services. This is a leader in cloud computing and AI, and they proudly sponsor the AWS Artificial Intelligence Prize. This initiative aims to boost innovation in critical infrastructure and elevate Singapore's position as a global maritime hub. AWS is recognizing a startup that implements scalable, secure, and high-performance solutions and demonstrates potential for major improvements in port efficiency, safety, and sustainability. And of course, here with us is Ms. Elsie Tan, Worldwide Public Sector Singapore Country Manager from Amazon Web Services. So let's please give her a big hand for presenting the prize. Thank you for sponsoring the prize, and I believe this is the first batch of sponsored prizes. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the $10,000 for the AWS Artificial Intelligence Prize is, congratulations to Mepsi. Congratulations. And we also have prepared a huge, humongous check for you as well. Congratulations to Mepsi for winning the AWS Artificial Intelligence Prize. Let us have a photo for them, please. Thank you very much. We invite you both to your seats. Thank you. You may... Oh, one more photo. One more. Do we have one more photo? Yes, we have one squatting down. Or no? Okay. Okay, let's smile for the camera. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have done our photos. Thank you. Thank you for the sponsorship of $10,000 in cash. And congrats to Mepsi. Next, we have our OCBC Maritime Sustainability Innovation Prize. OCBC is committed to partnering with maritime clients to support their net zero transition. As the first and only Southeast Asian bank to adopt the Poseidon Principles, the bank wishes to support the maritime sector's ambitious goal of reducing carbon emissions by 2050. The OCBC Maritime Sustainability Innovation Prize, worth 10,000 Singapore dollars, is therefore awarded to the innovative solution with the potential to accelerate the sustainability journey of the maritime industry, transform the way we carry our maritime activities, and contribute to a greener and more sustainable future for our oceans. And thank you very much to Ms. Angeline Teo, Global Head of Transportation, OCBC Bank, for joining us to present the OCBC Maritime Sustainability Innovation Prize. So let's see who is our winner. And the winner is... GT Wings. Congratulations for winning the OCBC Maritime Sustainability Innovation Prize. 10,000 Singapore dollars. And our check is coming right over to you. Congratulations. Let's take our time with the photos. Thank you very much. We invite both to the seats. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much for sponsoring the prizes. And we still have one more sponsored prize, and this is last but not least, the PSA Smart Port Prize. And this PSA is dedicated to partnering with technology innovators to co-develop cutting-edge solutions in automation, digitalization, and sustainability designed to scale for future growth and expansion. This year, PSA will present the PSA Smart Port Prize, offering 10,000 Singapore dollars to an innovative solution that can enhance port automation, reduce energy costs, promote circularity, improve multimodal network connectivity, optimize real-time data utilization, elevate safety, security, and productivity within port operations. And thank you very much to Mr. Ng Boon Teck, Vice President, PSA Unbox, to present the PSA Smart Port Prize, sponsored by PSA. And the winner is Planis Technologies. Congratulations for winning the PSA Smart Port Prize. Congratulations, 10,000 Singapore dollars. Thank you very much, PSA, for sponsoring this prize, and thank you very much to OCBC as well as AWS. Congratulations, and thank you very much to our sponsors for providing the cash prizes. We really appreciate this. Thank you. And right now, our judges are already here with us. Thank you so much for deliberating with us, and thank you for the very wonderful session. The Q&A session was wonderful. Can you please first give our judges a big hand, please? All three judges. And right now, I'd like to invite on stage our Chief Judge, Mr. Teo Eng Dee, Chief Executive, Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, to join us on stage to deliver his comments on behalf of the judging panel. Mr. Teo, please. Welcome, sir.
SMS friends, colleagues, those online and across the world who is tuning in to this, thanks very much for the PIER71 network. For those of you who know by now, PIER71 grew, and we are now, in Singapore terms, like going to primary school, having graduated our kindergarten, crossing 5 years, going to our 6th and 7th, and attracting lots of SMEs from around the world, and also attracting lots of VCs, academia, industry, to support you along the way. And why we do this, I think is quite clear for Singapore. We're a young nation. We will only reach 60 years next year. We'll always be limited by talent, but Singapore must always be the place where maritime startups anywhere in the world must find Singapore as the best place to translate your very good ideas into business propositions and taking it to scale. We know that for startups, there are lots of difficulties around the technical areas, and also ways to look at startups, how to look at places to test bid your solutions, ways to improve your product, ways to promote and get your first buyer. So with this regard, that's why in Singapore, we've grown this PIER71 community from strength to strength. And thanks to many of you, PIER71 has now gone global with many new markets, many new startups. As you can see today, it's almost a global community with startups from Latin America, going as far as Canada, in North America, large parts of Asia, Northeast Asia. We're just probably short of a bit of startups from South Africa. But beyond that, I think we have gone to bring many of the startups from around the world to participate in this. This year, for the first time, we have grown to take on more challenge statements from the maritime industry in Singapore. That's why EPS, Sarah is here, to support many of these. And our industry has provided very challenging, but at the same time, practical skills and ways in which your products can go to market. At the same time, academia is also supporting this, which is why you may find our questions just now extremely technical, extremely pointed, and because we want the startups to be founded on good science, good technologies, and many of these new areas on AI, especially on emissions reduction, require a very good understanding of science, the laws of thermodynamics, making sure that AI is used safely, practically, and this is where government, together with academia and industry, will support you in this process. So for Singapore, I think many of the winning and participants today will find good users. Our team will reach out to you. We have started an innovation lab in One North, which will be the place for many of you to test your solutions and scale them up in the next year or so. For academia, we have more than 10 research institutes across 6 universities and autonomous institutions who will be willing to work with you to enhance your products, make sure that the science and the full life cycle and the circularity is well controlled, and you make your most viable, minimum viable product. And then MPA, together with our industry promotion team, will bring you to, hopefully, your very first few customers, and thereby giving you enough feedback, enough products, and enough experience in the very challenging environment that we have in Singapore, whether it's weather, whether it's waves, whether it's the murky waters, or difficult times of day and night and 24/7 operations. And we hope that this will be the place where you'll grow your international HQ, and through our digital and green shipping corridor partners across the world, we'll also help you scale your products and international sales from here. So with this regard that we have done this, and I'm glad that today we had lots of discussions around the winners. We also thank, of course, OCBC, PSA, Amazon, for contributing to this effort by now coming in to adopt your product and also giving you due recognition for the journey so far. After all, it's still a competition, so I would summarize that the entries were all very, very good. At the end of the day, the differentiating factor was around which CEO or which technical expert understands your product the best, knows where is the industry leading technical challenges, what are you doing to break that technical challenge and bring it to the next level so that you have the best chance to scale that for a commercial solution in Singapore. So I think it went down to very few differentiating points, but at the end of the day, we hope that all of you are winners, all the participants here are winners, and through the ecosystem of Singapore, we hope to work with you to bring it to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Teo. Thank you. Mr. Teo, please remain with us on stage as we will be presenting the results of the Smart Port Challenge. So first and foremost, I'd like to invite Mr. Teo to join us on stage. And also, can we please invite on stage our guest of honor, Dr. Amy Khor, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Sustainability and Environment and Ministry of Transport. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us today as well, listening to all our pitches. 11 plus 8, 19 pitches in total. Thank you so much. And next we have, of course, Professor Benjamin T, Vice President, Ecosystem Development, NUS Enterprise. Welcome, sir. Welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go on to the top 3 winners, we have a special mention. You may rise and we can applaud our special mention. The special mention is a recognition of the innovativeness and potential of the technology to transform the industry. Can you please give a big hand to Teo Spark Energy Singapore? Let's give them a big hand, please. Thank you. Let's rise and yeah, thank you very much. Please continue your wonderful work. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. And right now, we have the third prize winner of $3,000, and they are, third prize winner is GT Wings. Congratulations. Looks like you've been here before. This is your second check. Is this your second check? Okay, you can pass it on to another group if you... Too much. Let's have a photo taken for them, shall we? Together with your huge check as well. Yes. He may need help to bring both of them home. Let's smile for the cameras. Thank you. Congratulations. And now we invite GT Wings to your seat for the moment. Congratulations. We will have you back in a very short while. Now we move on to the winner of the second prize of $5,000, and the winner is Open Ocean Robotics. Congratulations. Congratulations. And here comes your check as well. Let's smile for the cameras. Thank you very much. We invite you off the stage for the moment. You will be joining us in a very short while for a group photo. Thank you. And now the champion of Smart Port Challenge 2024 and winner of $10,000 is... Now would be nice. Do we have the slide? Coming soon. Clear Robotics! Congratulations. Wow. The team loves to keep us in suspense, huh? Congratulations to Clear Robotics. Yes, I remember the very fast and furious Q&A, the first 4 minutes. Yes, congratulations. Yes, wonderful. Let's give a big hand to our champion of Smart Port Challenge 2024. Please remain on stage with us, all our VIPs as well as our winner. Please stay. And right now, can I please invite Mr. Kenneth Lim, Mr. Ng Yi Han, and Mr. Thomas Ting from MPA. Please join us on stage, as well as Mr. Brian Koh from NUS Enterprise to join us on stage for the next photo. We'll be merging more and more people into the photo, so please stay with us. Do not go anywhere, and we have some important announcements as well. All right, thank you for balancing out the photo very nicely for us. Thank you. First prize, Smart Port Challenge 2024. Congratulations. Let's have a photo, please, shall we? Let's look at the cameras. And smile. Thank you. Please stay with us. Now let's invite on stage. But first, let's give a big hand to our champion first, one more time. How about that? And now to make a bigger photo, let's please invite all the top 3 winners as well as our special mention, Teo Spark Energy Singapore, and all the team members to join us on stage. So please, all the top 3, our first runner-up, second runner, and as well as Teo Spark Energy, please join us on stage for a photograph. Thank you, thank you. Give us some time to do the arrangements, and thank you for the music as well. Thank you. Wow, wow, wow. Let's watch the corners of your check, not the typical size. Okay. Thank you very much for helping us with the arrangement. Let's have a photo. Let's have one more photo. Look at the camera in the center with the gentleman. Thank Thank you. And our final photo, ladies and gentlemen, one more. Can we please invite all the startups and their team members who participated in PIER71 Smart Port Challenge 2024 to please join us on stage for the group photo. This is a little bit challenging. Do give us some time. Let's arrange. Let's give us some time. Oh yes, apologies. Sorry. Apologies. Can we come down first? So sorry, please stay over here. Right now, I skipped one, a very, very important one. Yeah? So let's please give a big hand to welcome our company representatives from AWS, OCBC Bank, and PSA, and the winners of the 3 sponsored prizes first. Please come on stage, thank you. And right after that, we'll have having our big happy group photo. Apologies about that, and thank you very much once again to AWS, OCBC, and PSA for sponsoring the prizes. It's getting a little bit more and more challenging to to arrange the photos, but stay with us, Thank you very much, thank you. Looks like your checks will have to take a break for the moment. Yes, a little bit too much real estate going on. Let's smile for the cameras, please. And ladies and gentlemen, finally, I'm sure that you were impressed by all 19 of our participants. Can you please invite all our participants on stage and give them a big hand as we welcome all our friends who participated in Smart Port Challenge 2024. Thank you so much for the wonderful and quality pictures. Thank you so much for all the work that you've put in, the practice as well, and the many people who helped us along the way too. All right, let's give them a moment to make the arrangements. One step forward, please. Let's look at the cameras, please. Smile. Can we have a thumbs up? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. We invite all to your seats as we have some thank you messages as well as some closing messages as well. Let's give us a moment to do so. Congratulations to our winners as well. We invite all to your seats for some thank you messages. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's take our time. Just a last few moments for some thank you messages. Thank you very much for staying with us. I think we've got some slides as well, right? We'd like to extend our gratitude. Thank you very much to our corporate sponsors for supporting these innovation opportunities, as well as the maritime companies and individuals who joined us at the Hard Rock Cafe event at the start of our program and participated in numerous meetings with our cohort of 28 startups. Your invaluable engagement has deepened their understanding of the industry's challenges, helping them to craft more effective solutions. So thank you very much for your fantastic support. So we'll also like to say a big thank you to our semi-final judges, domain experts, mentors, trainers, and those behind the scenes who have dedicated time and effort to mentor the startups. Your invaluable expertise has played a major role in our startups' growth. Can we please give them a hand, please? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your applause to all our friends who put in the effort. And next, we'd like to say a big thank you, heartfelt thanks to our prize sponsors, Amazon Web Services, OCBC Bank, and PSA Singapore, and also to our grand final judges, Chief Judge Mr. Teo Eng Dee, MPA, Mr. Cyril Ducal, Eastern Pacific Shipping, and Prof. Chai Kah Hin from NUS as well. Thank you very much. Let's give them a big hand, please. Thank you. Just a few final announcements before we close. Please visit the Marine Tech Showcase that's just outside. It's a great opportunity to see the latest innovation in maritime technology up close. Both our current cohort as well as alumni startups from past programs are exhibiting, and the showcase will end at 6 p.m. We encourage you to continue the dialogue, network with fellow enthusiasts, and explore the possibilities that lie ahead. And if you want to be part of the Smart Port Challenge 2025, please get in touch with our friends in the PIER71 t-shirts. I'm sure you've seen them. Remember, the Smart Port Challenge is not just an event, it is a catalyst for change, and we'd love to have you on board as well. In closing, the PIER71 team would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of you here and everyone involved in making today's event a success. Your presence and contributions have truly made this a memorable occasion. Once again, my name is Melvin. It's been such a pleasure being an MC. Thank you, and see you again next year. Thank you. Thank you.